All right. Good morning, everybody. We are here today to talk about why it is so important for moms to have a side hustle. I know for me, it not only does it make me feel better, makes me feel more appreciated. It's good all the way around for everybody to be financially independent. I have several side hustles. I know Miss Jessica here at Digital has several side hustles. Some of those side hustles actually turn into full blown businesses. So if you're looking to work from home and you don't want to do the whole 9 to 5 thing inside your house, because that's what a work from home job is, 9 to 5 at home with all the things, the kids, the laundry, the cooking, the cleaning, all that type of stuff. Let's talk about ways that we can an income that we don't necessarily have to trade our time for dollars for.
Yeah, and
So
also
just
talk a little bit about why it's important that Black women or women just in general have a side hustle, right? These guys, yeah, I'll let Lorraine get into that. I'll let Lorraine.
I mean, if you're on my channel, you got here from my TikTok, you can go follow me at Lorraine Kamisha over there. I go into nitty gritty of why it's important from personal experience. Okay. I've got 3 kids. You know what I'm saying? We all know what that is like. If you're from a broken home or you're divorced or you're a single mom or what have you, that child support, sometimes it comes, sometimes it don't. Sometimes, I just don't like people to be jerking me around with money or whatever. I really wanted to provide a way of life for my children that, I was able to sustain with or without anybody's help. So, when that child support check comes, if it comes, and it really, let's be honest, it ain't much to cover much of anything in the first damn place. But you know what I'm saying? I'll give my children some financial independence by giving it to them and showing them how money works and allowing them to invest in their talents and their interests with that money versus, oh God, I gotta have it. If I don't, I can't pay my rent and I can't pay my this and I can't pay my that. So, that's one of the reasons that it's so important for me. But I really don't want to spend a whole lot of time into the negatives. That's all over my TikTok. Go take a look at that. But yeah, that
Well, it's
financial
all over
independence.
here too. It's all
Oh
over
yeah.
YouTube too. That's why I said let's dive into a little bit of that, but
So I guess I could talk a little bit
just a
about.
little bit about the Dusties, just tiny bit,
So my last viral video is about how being a stay-at-home mom is not a privilege. I don't care, how you chop it up. I don't care if you got a nanny, a maid. I don't care if you doing all the things. I don't care if, you got a 9 to 5 or not. Being a stay-at-home mom is not a privilege. It is a financial partnership. Okay. It takes both ends of the spectrum. Somebody going out to work and then somebody staying at home taking care of all the things in order for a household to work. And if you don't have a stay-at-home mom, you have to outsource some things or you have to, you should be economically disadvantaged. Because if you're a stay-at-home mom and you're not earning income, you're missing out on valuable work experience. You're missing out on, contributing to things like for your retirement, like 401ks, life insurance policies, all those sorts of things. So, and I'm not talking about, a lot of women will come on here and they'll be like, oh, well, I've got access to funds and owning funds, having your own funds, investing those funds in a way that benefit you and your partner, your spouse are 2 different things. We're not talking about access to go make your Target runs or get your daily Starbucks and stuff like that. We're talking about planning for your financial future. Okay. So a lot of times this conversation gets misconstrued in, I enjoy what I do. I love being with my kids. It's a privilege in a way that I get to watch every step of the way with my kids and I get to be there. Okay, that's not the conversation. The conversation is what happens in case that man leaves, or what happens in case that man, God forbid, has a heart attack and is rendered not being able to work or not being able to provide or, is no longer with us anymore. Where are you going to be left? There's a story that I saw on, I believe it was CNN the other day, and they were talking about the homeless population that is growing in the Los Angeles, California, like in all these different areas. It's not just, bigger cities, in all these areas. And they interviewed a woman that said that she was homeless and on the streets because her husband passed away about 6 months prior. Okay. She's homeless now with her children on the streets. So, when I think about that, not only you got to think about being homeless, you have no to stay, whether you stay in, how are you feeding yourself? How are you clothing yourself? How are you maintaining heat, or how are you staying out of the heat? You got to think about, as a woman with children, now we got to talk about predators. Now we got to talk about your safety. Okay. So, you are putting yourself in a position where, you're privileged to be a stay-at-home mom. And now her privilege has taken her to a place where she is living on the streets. Okay. That doesn't feel like a privilege to me. That means that she gave up her time, her income earning capability, her energy, her effort for unpaid labor. And now she's on the streets. So what is your plan? What's your plan for that?
And like, what do you do? What do you do when you're in that type of situation where, the unexpected happens and now you don't have anything set up? I also saw a story where this woman she got married to this wonderful guy, they had kids, and he just passed away. Turns out he was still married, right? And so they hadn't gotten married yet. He left all of his money, and he had his what is it called when you sign over your to your spouse or whatever?
Your beneficiary or whatever.
Yes, thank you. The ex-wife was the beneficiary, didn't give the wife a dime. And at this point, they had been going strong for 5+ years. And she was just left helpless. Really? What do you do?
You go to jail at that point is what I'm trying to do. but I mean, there's a bunch of stories. I mean, I know of somebody who was dating this guy, and he was still married at the time. And this is a kind of the opposite way of that story, but married at the time, she was dating this guy. This guy was telling the girlfriend one thing, going through divorce, telling the ex-wife one thing. He ended up getting sick in the hospital, and this man actually, before he died, took the beneficiary out of his wife's name and put it in the girlfriend's name. And the wife was the one who got the account, did all the paperwork and did all that stuff for the insurance policy.
Oh no, so, I was thinking.
It's like, that ain't me. That's not my story. I married a wonderful man and a wonderful person. I did a video on TikTok. It's also here on YouTube Shorts as well. At the point at which these men will switch up on you. We all know that sometimes, men switch up at different points in your life. Sometimes it's when you become exclusive. Now all of a sudden he's not, doing the things that I used to do. Sometimes it's when you become engaged. Now all of a sudden them true colors come out. Then when he locks you down into marriage, you think you can get nowhere. And if you do get somewhere, you're going to be like me, been divorced and people judging you, talking crazy to you and all that type of stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? We all know that sometimes the switch up happens when them babies come out as well.
What I find really interesting about all of this, right? Side hustles. We can get into some of the side hustles, right? What are some of the ways in which you can start to generate income so that you have at least that cushion? It's always great to have a cushion, right? Yeah. So what are some of the side hustles that you've been involved with? I know digital products has been one of the major ones, but what are some of the other ways we can create some content or create some money making, assets? Right. That's how I look at it. I look at these things as assets that we can generate income for over and over and over again from.
Right. So for me, one of my main ones is a service-based business. I own a writing agency. We employ probably about 20 or 30 different writers, depending on the time of the season or the volume that we're doing. That one brings anywhere from about $5 to $20 $5,000 a week, depending on the season. It's a niche business. So if you're a writer, or if you're somebody who, can figure out like Chat GPT and stuff like that, then that's a good side hustle, because writing is a huge market. Okay. People are always looking for that type of service, because not everybody can write. That's a talent. Okay. Another big one that I've done here is a mattress removal service. I put together a mattress removal service a few years ago, and it turned into a junk removal service. So now I've got two streams of income. I've got, the service that's bringing in income, and also that junk. Sometimes people give you perfectly good items that you can then turn around and sell. And because you got them for free, anytime money coming in from that is extra income for you. Jessica said the digital products. If you're good at designing planners, graphic design, babysitting services, dog walking services, and keep in mind, these services, you can do what's called drop servicing, meaning you are pretty much the middleman, just like in drop the storefront, or you're providing the leads, and then another company is sending out the product for you. Well, it's the same thing with drop servicing, except for you are doing it with services and not products. So that's why I say a lot of these are easy for moms who are wanting to work from home, because with outsourcing and automation, you can begin to work less and less in these businesses as you have them set up. So those are a few that I've used. There's an ebook that I have that is 50 Side Hustles for women who want to work from home. That is an ebook full of ideas. A lot of them I've tried myself. The ones that I have links on there to different videos or resources. Get more information and start to set these up for yourself. But whatever you choose, just understand that you're going to have to find a way to make money without having to always trade your time, because we have so many responsibilities. And a lot of times when you're in a toxic situation, or you went in a session that's really in your best benefit, one of the ways that they will keep you from leaving is by piling up free labor on you. Okay. Keep piling up so that you don't have any time to, number one, take care of yourself, think about anything, be creative or anything like that. And then if you're doing so much free labor, then you have very little time to earn income for yourself. So you're going to have to find ways that you can overcome those types of things. And I'm not saying that's everybody, every marriage, every situation, but 50 or more % of marriages in this country end in divorce, and over 80% of those are initiated by women, and that's for a reason. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're arming yourself and you're not rendering yourself financially dependent on somebody else.
I love that. Some of the things you also talk about is virality and the importance of virality. You said something during our summit that, oh my gosh, resonated with me. And I was just like, that makes so much sense. I guess I need to stop being scared of going viral. That you have to have so many people that see your content so that you get that small percentage of people that will come to you. I know this to be true because I've done it over and over again, or I've been in situations, even networking situations, where I've talked to so many people, but about 2 or 3 of those folks are the folks that actually follow up, that actually resonate, all that good stuff. So can you talk a little bit about virality and why it's important when we talk about creating even digital products, or really just going to platforms where there's already people there so we can sell our products, right? So we can talk a little bit about that too, right?
Yeah, because even if you start a side hustle, you're gonna have to find somebody to sell to, and that's the number one reason why a lot of women that I talk to, they're like, you know what, I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to get in front of people. I don't want, how am I going to find clients and stuff like that? Number one, you got to get in front of people who are most likely to use your service. And we're not talking about, billboards. Billboards are a passive form of income. A passive form of marketing, meaning, just because I drive past the billboard does not mean that I'm looking for that particular service right now. So one of the easiest ways to bring in clients when you first get started is going to be to go where those people are looking for that service. so like Google search or TikTok search, or those types of avenues that you could use. So that's where the virality comes into play. You want to make sure that you're pushing out your service or pushing out your content so that you can begin to attract the people who are more likely to use your service. If you are doing digital products, it's the same thing. So let's say you develop you are very organized at home. As a stay-at-home mom, you got grocery lists and things like that, or to-do lists that help make your life easier. You can actually package that into content or into digital products, and then use your viral messages or your viral marketing in front of the people who are more likely to buy those things or to purchase them from you, which would be other stay-at-home moms. So, that viral piece is very important, because people are not going to buy from you the first time they see you. You have to be consistent in your message. Okay. And there's a lot of scams out there. There's a lot of people that are not doing the right thing. So it takes people, time to get to know you, to want to purchase from you. And that's okay. If you are able to set your business up in a way where you have, I'm not out there picking up mattresses. There's mattresses being picked up right now, and I'm here on YouTube. I'm not writing projects. There's writing projects being done right now, but I'm not writing them. I am the face of my brand.
I absolutely love that. Some of the things that I've been looking at is tools. I'm a huge, huge, huge component of utilizing tools to help me with productivity, help me with even just content creation and creating a content library, right? So I put together this tool book, because when I do tools on social media, people seem to go crazy. They seem to really like, oh, I can use this tool, I can use that tool. And sometimes it can be a hindrance. So I'm not going to bypass that and not talk about that a little bit, right? Sometimes you're so busy looking at all of these tools that you actually don't do the work and create content. That hinders you from doing it. But there are tools to help you kind of get your content out there and help with some virality as well. Some of the tools that we both use, I know, is Repurpose.io. We toot them a lot. We definitely need to call them and shout them and tell them we need to create content for them as much as we talk about them.
Absolutely.
Any other tools?
Everybody.
Any other tools you could think of that help out with even delivering it? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, those are my type of.
You're not out there picking up the mattresses. You're not writing the content or writing the papers, but you're still making money. Our tools are helping us do that same thing. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Also, tools. Most of my tools are going to be centered around like delivering products.
Right.
So if you're looking to go, into the digital download space, Gumroad is my favorite one right now. They've made a few changes, but it's still the integrations and, being able to deliver that product, upsells and stuff like that have been like A1 for me. And it's very simple. Like there's a lot of different other tools that you can use for that. But, if you're just getting started out and you're to like putting things together, Gumroad is a good one because it's very self-explanatory. ConvertKit for email and managing email lists, because you're gonna need to be able to get back in front of customers, and for repeat business and things like that. So that's one of the best ones that I've used for that. If I'm getting a little too technical, Zapier is one of my favorite ones. Because if you need different processes to be able to run these businesses hands off, and it serves as a connector between different platforms so it can talk to each other. Because honestly, once you're trying to like grow your side hustles into businesses, you end up having to automate a lot of things. If you don't, then you just have created a 9-to-5 again for yourself. I'm trying to get away from that 9-to-5 hustle. I don't know about y'all. So, these automations and these tools are very important to that process. Do they cost money? Absolutely. Do you need them to start all the time? No, not necessarily. But when you want to remove yourself from having to work in the business all the time, you want to just work on the business, things like growing your revenue and content creation and stuff like that. You start looking into those types of tools.
So we have one more minute left. There is this new tool called Koji. It's KOJI. I'm looking at it right now on my wall. That tool actually allows you to take in tips to create a tip jar. So
Mm.
I love that tool for creating a tip jar. If you're creating content constantly, like maybe you do funny content or skits and you want to monetize some of that and have people send you tips, definitely a platform you should look at. And Podia is another one that I love just because I'm able to go in and put in my courses, put in workshop replays, all that good stuff, and have them actually put in like modules, right?
Right.
Whereas Gumroad doesn't offer that on the back end, but you can definitely create it if you know how to do that. But this one has it built in where you can just go ahead and put it in. So I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back again. I'm going to go ahead and pass it back over to Lorraine, but thank you guys for joining us during this live stream. Lorraine, take us out.
Thank you guys again for joining us. We'll definitely do more of these. If you're looking for side hustle ideas so that you can become more financial independent, you can look at the description, and there is an ebook there called 50 Side Hustles for Moms Who Want to Work from Home. Again, a lot of these I've done, a lot of these I've researched and have learned from other creators as well. So we will definitely show back up and start to talk more about this conversation, more about financial freedom as a mom. And we'll see you later. Bye.